Hello fellow grower, I'm back again and welcome to my channel, The Late Grower. Now in this video, I'd like to share with you how I make my own compost for my plants in a container. So if you want to learn how to make your own compost for free without spending anything and with very little effort, please keep watching the video. Now to make compost, you'll need two main ingredients. One is the brown, so-called because of its color, and it consists of dried leaves and paper in this case. You can also include as brown sawdust and hay, for example. Actually, with brown, it refers to anything that is dry. Okay, so that is the first ingredient. And the next one is the green ingredient, so-called because of its color, but actually it can also contain a lot of other ingredients. Basically, the green is the fresh ingredient. Okay, so here you can include grass clippings like this, uh, twigs, no, and unwanted plants in your garden. You can also include fruits, uh, fruit peels included, and also eggshells. Eggshells you have to crush because they take a really long time to compost. You can also include vegetable scraps, those parts of vegetables that you don't cook. Now, one thing about the green, you should not add cooked ingredients. No, don't add cooked rice or anything that is cooked. Actually, it has to be fresh. Okay, so these are the main ingredients of making a compost: the green and the brown. Now, when you buy compost, normally you will see in their packaging the CN ratio. Now, the brown refers to the carbon, while the green refers to the nitrogen. And ideally, the carbon to nitrogen ratio is about 20 is to 1. With some, there are 30 is to 1. But in our case, for our purposes, in making your own compost, you just have to make it balance actually. In my case, I have here maybe around 50% brown and 50% green. Okay, now the question is, can you make a compost with only the brown materials? Yes, you can, but it will take a really long time before these brown materials can compost. Okay, what about just making your compost using the green materials? Yes, you can also, but there is a tendency for your compost pile to be smelly. Okay, and that will also invite flies and a lot of insects that will feed on your compost pile. So ideally, you must combine the two, the green and the brown. Here I have this portion in my front yard where I do my composting. Now this is actually a planter. I'm supposed to grow plants here, but instead of growing plants, I decided to make it my composting area. So to make your compost, you just have to throw in your materials. Okay, there goes the brown, and then mix in the greens. Okay, so there is the brown and the greens already. Give it a little mix. Okay, now after mixing, all you have to do is to water, like so. In order to hasten the composting process, you have to cut your materials into small pieces. This one I forgot to cut, but I will just let it be. Okay, just wet it thoroughly. Uh, Too much water will delay the composting process. while no water at all will also stop the composting process. So just water it enough. Okay. Make sure that the water will reach the bottom of the mix. If you have chicken manure, you can also include the chicken droppings into the pile. Now, in my case, I don't have chicken, but I do have African lovebirds, a few of them, and I put their droppings in the pile also. After watering the mix, all you have to do now is to just cover it. In my case, I just cover it with sack. Okay, like so. And every 2 weeks or 10 days, you can open the covering, take out the covering, and mix your compost. Okay, and after 2 weeks, if you notice that the compost pile is drying, you can also add water. And in about 45 to 60 days, you'll have your compost looking like this. Okay, I started this compost pile more than a year ago, I think April of last year. And I've been using the produce of this compost for composting area for several months already. Okay, I have here maybe around 100 kilos or 200, more than 200 pounds of compost. This is 90% done. Now, there is a question here, actually asked by a few of my friends. Can you compost without covering? You see, you just so that I covered this. Can you compost this without covering? Yes. The composting process will also take place even without covering. But the problem is it will take a long time, possibly around 6 months. Without covering this mix, this is called open or cold composting. By covering it, it is now called hot composting. So this is what you call hot composting, and this hastens the composting process. So in 45 to 60 days, you'll have about 80 to 90% of the mix composted already, and looking like this. Okay. So this compost is about 90% done. It's ready to use. But before I do that, I put it through this sifter, like so. I also made this sifter, give it a little shake, and then there is my compost. Okay, so that the big ones, those that are not yet fully composted, I will just return into the pile. Okay, so there you have it. That is how to make your own compost. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next videos. Bye bye.